Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Credit Matters. S&P Global has been very busy in the insurance rating space this year, and we've made a number of changes to our insurance rating methodology. Concurrent with this change, S&P Global has developed a separate product, the ERM Evaluation. Sitting here with me today are Katilyn and Pulcher, as well as Steve Guijarro, two of our Senior ERM Specialists. So Katilyn, what is the ERM Evaluation?
Essentially, it's our analysis of how effective a company's enterprise risk program is at managing its risk exposures within its predefined tolerances and risk appetite statement.
Steve, can you provide a high-level overview of the ERM Evaluation framework?
Sure, Larry. As you can see in the chart, the ERM Evaluation covers three key factors: risk culture, risk exposure management, and risk optimization, each of which is scored either favorably, appropriate, or unfavorably based on the assessment of other sub-factors. We then come up with a final ERM evaluation score that ranges from superior to deficient based on various combinations of these scorings. The ERM report also provides additional information such as exposure relative to peers, appropriateness of risk tolerances, robustness of risk controls, model validation and parameterization processes, among other risk factors.
So Katilyn, can you talk a little bit about the insights the ERM Evaluation provides issuers?
Sure. So Larry, we've been collecting data on companies' ERM practices and frameworks since 2005. So this type of product provides access to that knowledge and also gives a peer comparison of how a company's practices compare to others in the industry that we've seen, because we've been evaluating several insurers since 2005 and seen their frameworks evolve over the years.
Steve, for our existing rated issuers, can you talk a little bit about how the results of the ERM Evaluation inform the ratings process?
Well, Larry, there is no explicit direct link between the ERM Evaluation scoring and our final credit ratings assessment. That said, the findings of the ERM Evaluation could aid in understanding the overall credit analysis. Under our revised framework for rating an insurance company, ERM components are directly embedded into the ratings factors. While there is no direct explicit link between the ERM Evaluation and the factors in our rating process, the ERM Evaluation can provide deeper insight into risk culture, risk optimization, and effectiveness of risk exposure management.
So Katilyn, can you talk a little bit about the additional information requirements for the ERM Evaluation?
Sure, Larry. So typically it involves an in-person meeting between our ERM specialists here at S&P and the senior members of the risk team at the company. And it can be a half-day meeting, a full-day meeting, but we'll walk through the culture of the company and the various risk committees and how they all interact with each other. And then we'll follow up over email and phone call over the next several weeks to collect all of the data we need. So we'll collect risk reporting on market risk, credit risk, operational risk, any type of insurance risk that they're facing, and just look at their typical risk reporting that goes through on typically a quarterly basis, sometimes weekly or monthly, just to evaluate whether a company is actually doing what it told us it does in the in-person meeting.
And Steve, can you talk a little bit about the length of the process?
As Katilyn mentioned a little before, once we are formally engaged in the process, we'll typically have a meeting that could last pretty much the better part of a day, in which the company has a chance to come in and provide us a framework around their ERM programs. Typically, as part of this process, the company will bring in a presentation to guide the discussions. After that, it's sort of an iterative process between the data collections, as Katilyn mentioned before, and getting some further understanding of some of the information that was brought up in the meeting. Once we've collected all the information, it typically takes between 6 to 8 weeks for a new engagement to produce a final report, and about 3 to 4 weeks if we've already had a recurring client.
Katilyn, will the results of the ERM Evaluation be made public?
So the full report is kept confidential, but a high-level overview of the company's scores and subscores and a brief summary of our analysis can be made public at the company's request.
Steve, can you talk a little bit about the differences between the ERM Level 2 analysis issuers may be familiar with and the new ERM Evaluation?
Under our new methodology for rating an insurer, ERM is directly embedded into the process, and thus the scoring of the ERM Evaluation is no longer explicitly linked to the insurer's financial strength rating.
So Katilyn, where can issuers find more information on the ERM Evaluation?
The framework itself is published on our website, smp.com, or on Capital IQ.
So Katilyn, Steve, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and I'd like to thank our audience for joining us for this segment of Credit Matters TV.